Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm a Leslie Female fan. Steve Alicious here. What was it that Herbert Hoover said? A chicken in every pot? Well, Amazon would like that to be an Echo Dot instead. And why not $19 today for Amazon Prime Day for the third generation Echo Dot. We'll go over it. We'll look around it. We'll look at the software for it and see for 19 bucks should you pick up a few of them, spread them around your home, and have one of those smart homes that everyone loves to talk about. Today on this edition of Steve Alicious Tech. And we're back. As always, thank you so much to all the new subscribers, up over 1,950 as of the taping of this video. If you're loving all the technology, whether it be phones, whether it be Amazon tech, whether tech in general, go ahead and give that subscribe button a tussle. It certainly means a lot to me. So, the Echo Dot, and this is the third generation base one. No smart clock, no fourth generation that looks like that bizarre fabric globe that they have going on now that they're selling. This is just the base third generation one, which I think is a fantastic deal. And the reason why I'm putting up this video tonight, this is Monday, October 12th, is because if you're a Prime member, the deal for this Dot starts tonight. $19. And for that, they used to sell these for 30 bucks, and I understand they have the newer one now, but it's not like the older ones where if you had the old Dot, the first generation to second generation, perhaps you wouldn't want to make that jump. If you don't like the fourth generation redesign, you don't want to make that jump. I'm telling you, if you have one of the hockey puck ones, one of the ugly hockey puck ones, I should say, and you haven't upgraded to a third generation one, that's this guy here, this is an excellent opportunity to do so for cheap. And you do get a lot of functionality out of it. Those hubs, those Philips Hue bulb hubs, and whatever else, that smart home hub stuff gets relatively expensive quickly, depending on what rooms you have and trying to control them all. And you have multiple rooms and multiple light patterns and whatever you got going on, smart plugs, security, whatever it is. You pop one of these guys in a room, and not only does it network with everything, so you can have all the stuff in the app, which I'll show you in a moment, but you get a hub out of it. You pair this with the software and the Bluetooth bulbs or smart switches or whatever you have, and then you have a controller right here that you can control with voice controls, which I think is fantastic for that money. So, let's talk about this guy here. And this is the one you want. If you had the first and second generations, they were just flat out ugly. And the speakers weren't very good, and the LED ring was it wasn't aesthetically pleasing, if you will. I guess that's subjective, but for my money, it wasn't that nice to look at. But now, they've definitely made this, especially with this is very Google Home-esque, with the kind of fabric speaker finish. And they do say, it's not, are you listening to symphonies on this? You got acoustics? No. I mean, I understand you could put two of them together. For less than 40 bucks, you can have one on either side of a shelf, and you can have stereo, you can Bluetooth pair them, and have some sort of stereo speakers going on. But for the most part, it's okay. Listen, you're just cooking, you're doing something, you're working, you're working out, you're at home, you're not going to the gym because of all that's going on. You can pop this on, and it's perfectly fine for that. You're not going to be overly picky at that. So let's go into the software, and I'll show you what I'm talking about with what you can do with it. So, I have, now it's going to say unresponsive, of course, because I have it unplugged. It's right here. It's not wireless power. But you go into the Alexa app. Oh, and I said, can I not say that? Are people's devices going crazy all over the place? Listen, if it's 2020 and you haven't changed it to say from Alexa to something else, tough. I'm sorry. Your smart devices are going to have to go nuts for a few minutes. But I've changed mine. Mine's computer, by the way. Very Star Trek. I say computer and I tell it to do things with the light. So that's how I get around that. But you have the Echo stuff that you could set up in the Alexa app. But then you go to lights and you just pair these to your Bluetooth lights and you can set up all kinds of stuff. So you can set up the brightness, you can set up customs, you can set up routines. So you could say, for mine, I say computer because I stream. I say computer red alert. And it's like the bridge of the Enterprise where the lights go red and the room goes red. And you can have any different color scheme, different temperatures, whatever you want. how hooked up to LEDs, even those LED strips. You could have music set to it. You could have all these routines with all these functions that you could put in that really make it easy in a couple words, and you've got your music playing, your lights, your mood lighting, whatever you got going on. You can have that done, and for relatively an inexpensive thing. It's louder. I think the microphone is better than the second generation one. It seems to pick up fairly well when I'm talking and what I'm saying. I know you're not getting the functionality of the clock, but I know the third generation clock ones have that thing that kind of has it here, and you could do that, but they're more expensive. I wouldn't pay $40 for this, but in the $19 range, I think you're doing okay. The link will be in the description, by the way, for this one. And like I said, if you're a Prime member, you could start ordering them tonight. I believe you get that early, and for everybody else, I think it's midnight tonight, wherever you happen to be. I think midnight on the West Coast, it starts to go into that. But I like the weight of it. I like the fact that it's got the rubberized bottom, which is excellent because you put it there and it stays. It doesn't slide off any surfaces. It doesn't do anything. It's not moving. Once you put it there, it is. And to be honest with you, and I'm not big on these apps, but this was relatively easy to install as well. It took only a few moments, and I'm not good with any of that smart home stuff. It's not my thing. I don't like it's tough for me to set up the plugs and what I'd even want on a plug that's smart controlled and what I need to shut off with the clapper is probably the most advanced kind of automatic remote shut off device that I got to, if you remember that from the 90s. But it was, even for me, it was pretty simple to do. You just hold the phone device next to the Bluetooth thing, pair it, and then it connects through the network, and then you're on your way that way. But the build quality is quite nice. Like I said, I like the design of this. It also comes in charcoal as well, if you want something darker that fits in with your home aesthetic a little bit better. The buttons on the top are nicer. If you just remember, the other one it was not meant for, it was cheap plastic looking, and then the top was just this black kind of rubberized matte material, and it was squared off and kind of odd. But this one, it looks like it looks like they just ripped off the design from the Google Home thing, but that's okay. Go with what works. No one has a patent on that particular design, so it looks quite nice. And you got your headphone jack. You can link stuff here. You kind of got a little audio out if you need to. There's audio out, and you have your power here, so you can use that. It might even be audio in. I'll have to check that. But you have your power as well to link the device up. And the only thing that people might complain about is this is not USB-C or micro USB, which I believe the old one was micro USB. The first and second generations were micro USB, which is a little bit easier, but this one takes a little bit more juice. And if you're able to find a plug for it, it's not the worst thing in the world, and it does have an added amount of functionality that the other ones did not. And like I said, for $19, I mean, that's really the only reason I'm doing this review. I understand there's a newer one. I usually don't like to recommend the older stuff, especially when there's a newer one, but the newer ones are charging $50 for. So this one, $19. If you've wanted to dive in, get a couple, get one for a room, try it out, see if you even use it, because a lot of times I think we buy these things thinking, oh, I'm gonna be talking to it all the time. I'm gonna be asking it the weather and 6 + 5 and whatever. Yeah, and then you wind up you talk to it maybe once a year. So to get your feet wet, this one right here, $19, definitely recommended. I've been using this one for over a year now. Flawless, hooked up 24/7, never had a problem with it, never had a hiccup with it, never had it disconnect. Connects to the network fine. The Wi-Fi works great on it, and all that stuff. So I could highly recommend this particular one, especially at that price point. So we're gonna have another one tomorrow. The Amazon Fire tablet, the 8. So if you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-alicious day.